on the protection of physical identification, where we're fighting to protect you from the new age of digital ID overreach. We're trying to fight for something that's been passed down through the centuries, the right to privacy. They all said we were going down a rabbit hole. In this case, they were right. We're going down that rabbit hole to get you rabbits, and as fast as possible.
There are people who say, oh, look, you can't trust anyone, you can't trust the media, there's shadowy figures who are really controlling things behind the scenes.
I don't think the idea that the World Economic Forum or the WHO or the UN is somehow magically pulling the strings, I don't find that plausible.
We're developing, through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So individual carbon footprint tracker.
So the UN has partnered with Bill Gates on this, what they call digital public infrastructure. So the UN Development Program has officially launched this. It was officially launched at the end of last year, where they're going to get 50 governments, they call them countries, but really they mean governments, to impose at least some major element of this digital public infrastructure on their population within 5 years.
Are you seriously looking at things like joint IDs or driver's licenses?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to try and do everything we can to make it as frictionless as possible, Corin. I mean, what more can we do on digitisation to get rid of paperwork, to get rid of, just dumb stuff that's getting in the way and making things more frictioned and difficult to move between both countries?
You know, the amazing work that, for example, Bill and Melinda Gates have done.
So you know Bill Gates?
Yeah. What they're doing around global health or global education, that's pretty inspiring stuff. You know, what they've done is phenomenal work.
New Zealand First is a nationalist party. Apparently there's something awful about being a nationalist or patriotic. Other parties are self-confessed globalists. Hopkins, what's his name, Hipkins? I can't understand what Chris Hipkins was doing with that swab guy the other day in the photograph. I'm not a globalist, I'm a nationalist. I'm for New Zealand first. Just like I go to Singapore, it's Singapore first. I go to China, it's China first. I go to Japan, it's Japan first. Come to New Zealand, I'll be globalist. No, I'm not. My party's called New Zealand First, and I'm not interested in what he's got to say. I do not think he's got any of the solutions that we need. World Economic Forum, well, I would say to them, F off. If we are the only party willing to stand in the way of globalist politicians and bureaucrats trying to take our country away, then so be it. Oh, by the way, I'm talking about things that have happened where none of these parties ever came and spoke to you about what you wanted. Never got a mandate from you. Never seemed to understand that in a thing called politics, in a democracy, you're the master, not them. But when did they ever ask you? No, they try to fill you with a whole lot of bell sandwich crap about how good it could be. You're paying for it, but they are so elite, they expect you, the mass majority, the master in this process, to be their servant. We need less bureaucracy and more of the plain old Kiwi can-doers.
What did you talk to Larry Fink about yesterday?
Again, about investment. He's one of the world's largest investors. I wanted him to know that New Zealand was open to investment, that we had a lot of investable opportunities coming with respect to infrastructure projects, and I know a number of people from BlackRock in my former life. And
the BlackRock deal yesterday, Hipkins was quoted with game changer and all these things.
BlackRock have indicated that they would like to invest in some projects in New Zealand, which is great.
But it's been coined the company that owns the world, managing assets worth more than a whopping $16 trillion. Should we be inviting investment firms like this onto New Zealand shores?
Here's the point. This is a globalist solution for New Zealand's national problem. And if it made any sense, then why can't we do it ourselves and pay less for doing it ourselves? Because BlackRock is not a charity.
We have a different position from New Zealand First, and at the moment we haven't been able to come to an agreement with respect to foreign investment is the hundreds of millions and billions of dollars that we need in order to get joint ventures happening between our best domestic firms in New Zealand to partner with big global firms so they can actually go out and continue to grow to a next level status.
Today in New Zealand, we're paying the economic price for political extremism and neoliberal experimentation. So much of our economic wealth is owned now or controlled offshore. Banks, insurance companies, energy companies, and tourism industry companies, silver ferns farms were sold offshore. New Zealand First will stop the overseas fire sale that's been going on for years. We have a responsibility to educate, train and employ our own people first. And so those who wish to call us racist or xenophobic, we've got news for you and it's all bad. We are not xenophobic, we are nationalists and we are patriotic and we believe in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, they paint nationalism as something evil, Kiwis are becoming increasingly worried about immigration issues. They have to be if they're watching their television sets. They are more acutely aware of the problem we're dealing with here than nearly all of those politicians in Wellington. But you're not surprised, are you? Just look at some of the states in the United States, or in the UK right now in many cities, or Germany, and recently next door in Australia.
You have to force behaviors. And if you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team.
How do you force change, though? I mean, Larry, BlackRock has really been the forefront of the ESG movement within corporate governance and a real leader. How do you do something more radical? Have you thought about that? Has the board of American Express thought about more radical things we could do to enhance diversity and inclusion?
We're going to make sure that in the House we debate this issue so that banks can't deny you service because of their woke ideology. It's your money, and on cash transactions, where we are fighting for your right to always have the ability to use cash for any transaction. And it's ironic that there needs to be legislation for this, as it's written on the note that it's legal tender. It says it there. As for those unelected elitist globalist organisations, decisions about how New Zealand responds to any health emergency are going to be made in Wellington, not Geneva.
David, on the subject of the Bill of Rights, I would like to know why during Labour's vaccine mandates in particular, you didn't stand for the right to medical privacy, the right to freedom from medical coercion, the right to freedom of protest and association during those 2 years, where you could have said something, you were in a position to, and as I believe you prevented your own MPs from meeting protesters at RTS Square and otherwise.
I'll answer it for you there, mate. Look,
without getting personal.
You're not from Epsom. No one cares about you, mate.
I'm not going to stand by whilst you're accused of being conspiracists or going down a rabbit hole because you want to question whether people were treated as the law would require us in medical terms to be treated, and they weren't.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a most serious time. This is not a time to waste on what we would like to see happen, but rather urgently prepare for what is happening. But to get to where we want to get to, we first have to deal with the plethora of malignant policies enshrouding our nation and stopping progress. Ever since the formation of New Zealand First under First Past the Post, we have stood for the sovereignty of New Zealand citizens in our own country. Our message to the bureaucracy pursuing unmandated, unelected policies is a very simple one. Do you want to be part of the solution, or do you want to remain part of the problem? We are asking you all to take action. As we promised, we are taking our country back.